Have you ever been browsing for land in Utah and just scratched your head at the prices? It seems like they're all over the place. Well, buying land is a massive decision, whether it's for your dream home or as a solid investment. So today, we're going to build a framework to help you decode those prices and really understand what makes any property in the Beehive State valuable. Okay, let's just dive right into the big question. How on earth is it possible for 1 acre of land to be 100 times more expensive than another acre in the very same state? It sounds wild, I know, but there is a clear logic behind it, and we're going to unpack it. So to make this real, just look at the difference between a place like Salt Lake County and a huge rural area like San Juan County. In one, you're paying a serious premium for convenience, for being close to jobs and everything else. In the other, your money buys you a ton of land, but you're giving up that city life. That's the fundamental trade-off right there. But it's not just about urban versus rural. The price tag on any piece of land isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's actually the result of 10 specific factors. We've grouped these into 3 big themes that are going to give you a super powerful way to look at any property you're thinking about. All right, our first theme is all about the big picture. We're talking about those external forces, location and the market, that shape a property's value before you even step foot on it. So within this theme, we're looking at 4 key things. How close is it to a city? Is the population growing like crazy? How easy is it to get there? And is the local economy actually strong? These are the huge trends that really set the stage. And wow, Utah's population growth is a massive piece of this puzzle. It's one of the fastest growing states in the country, which puts constant pressure on land. Just look at Washington County, where St. George is. It's so popular that demand has just exploded, pushing land values way, way up. Now check this out, because this is where economic diversity really comes into play. A place like Utah County, with its Silicon Slopes tech hub, has all sorts of high-paying jobs. That creates high and, more importantly, stable land values. Now compare that to a county that relies on just one industry, like mining. Their land prices can swing up and down like a yo-yo. Okay, let's move on to our second theme. We're going to zoom in from those big market forces and look at the land itself, the physical stuff that gives a property its core fundamental value. So here, we're asking, what is this land actually like? Does it have water? Is it flat and easy to build on, or is it a rocky cliffside? What does it look like from the property, and what fun stuff can you do on it or nearby? This quote just says it all. When you're evaluating land in a place like Utah, pretty much nothing is more important than water. It can literally be the single most valuable thing about a property. So what exactly are water rights? This is so important. They are a separate legal asset. You can own a piece of land without owning the rights to the water on it or under it. It's a legal right to use water, and without it, a gorgeous piece of property might be almost useless. And that leads to the million-dollar question every single buyer has to ask. You have to find out if water rights come with the deed, because if they don't, the cost of drilling a well and getting those rights on your own can be absolutely enormous. It could completely change the math on your purchase. And of course, there's another huge intrinsic value: recreation. Land that's close to Utah's incredible national parks or ski resorts, it comes with what's called a recreation premium. People are willing to pay a lot more just to be close to the adventure and those amazing views. All right, on to our third and final theme. This is where we look at the man-made layer of value. All the rules, regulations, and future plans that decide what you're even allowed to do with the land and what it might become one day. This covers 3 main areas: the zoning laws that are on the books right now, the availability of basics like power and water, and what the long-term plans are for the area. Zoning is just a perfect example of how a line drawn on a map can create a huge price difference. Land that's zoned for commercial use is just worth more per acre than land zoned for agriculture. Why? Because its potential for development is so much greater. You have to check the zoning. And this brings us to the classic trap of affordable raw land. You see a remote piece of land and it looks like a steal, right? But you have to do the math on development costs. Bringing in power lines, digging a septic system, that can cost tens of thousands of dollars. All of a sudden, your great deal is a really, really expensive project. So here's where the really savvy buyers get an edge. They don't just look at what the land is today. They go and research the county's master plans. If you can find out where a new road or school is going to be built, you might just find an undervalued spot that's about to see major growth. Okay, we've covered a lot. the 10 key factors across our 3 themes. So now let's put all this knowledge into action with a simple checklist you can use before you even think about making an offer. First off, get crystal clear on your goals. Are you building, farming, or just investing? Then dig into the practical stuff. What utilities are there? What does the zoning allow? And you guessed it, are the water rights included and verified? Finally, make sure you can actually get to the property both legally and physically. Seriously, this list is your shield. So there you have it, a whole framework for understanding what really drives land prices in Utah. The value is never just about the size, it's this complex mix of the market, the land itself, and what's possible in the future. Now that you have these tools, you can look right past the price tag and see the real value. The only question left is, what does your ideal property look like now?